SMART Aid kicks in when safety systems fail. The first 3 to 5 minutes of someone who's critically injured can make the biggest difference on if they live and die. The average ambulance response time in Australia is 10 minutes. That first dressing, that first intervention that the first person on the scene does can make the biggest difference on if that person goes home.
Think about controlling our physiological response, managing that stress, smooth, calm.
SMART Aid is a complete emergency medical response system for high-risk businesses. So everything from the planning for an emergency to the contextualised training, the equipment, and then testing that capability. So every year around Australia, approximately 200 workers are killed at work. We predominantly focus on those high-risk industries such as building, construction, transport and manufacturing. And we look at a company's risk and their response profile through our 7 Ps. Their past history, we'll look at their potential injuries and incidents, and we'll look at their places, so their locations, and that'll give us a good risk profile. We'll then look at their response profile, so we'll look at their people, we'll look at their products, we'll look at their planning, we'll look at their policy. Yeah, that's it. So those are 7 Ps. And then that'll give us a good idea on where they are and then where they need to be able to respond to a critically ill or injured patient.
It may not actually be arterial, it may just be a large pooling of blood in a peculiar spot.
We'll then put together first aid response plans that's specific to that business or organisation. We'll then deliver contextualised trauma first aid training to that organisation. We then test that capability. So we'll run like a fire drill, like you're 300 times more likely to have a medical emergency in the workplace than you are a fire, yet everyone does 2 fire drills a year and nobody practices CPR or to stop a major bleed when a piece of machinery falls on them or they get hit by a car. And if they meet all of our criteria, then we'll accredit them as a SMART Aid workplace. SMART Aid will save lives. We're going to teach people in workplaces to stop the bleeding and keep them breathing. Nobody's delivering training like we do. It's really how can we provide the most amount of skills, knowledge, confidence in a really short period of time whilst trying to give them our decades of experience both in military medicine and working on the streets as paramedics. And that's how we come up with SMART, is by making it a really simple, easy to follow process that treats the preventable causes of death in those first 10 minutes. At the end of the day, we want people every day when they go to work to be able to go home to their families safe. So if you really want to have a culture of safety, then you need to be SMART ready.